it's not going to be that easy for him.
I think Kenyans should be aware and alert and awake that this is psychological warfare. He is playing psychological warfare on the Kenyan people. Excuse me. He knows he cannot win fair and square. And therefore, he's doing it the Kaguta style. And I heard Honorable Sankok praising and showering accolades on Kaguta, the president of Uganda, as though he's the Pan-Africanist he ought to be, a person who I haven't heard calling for the unification of Africa. Kaguta ran a psychological warfare on the Ugandan people, same style on this, telling the Ugandan people, oh, you know, the margin by which I'm going to win is this, so that it's entrenched in your system, just like the psychological warfare on him by Honorable Gachagua telling him that you're going to be one term. It's never left him. It's never left him. That thing is a nightmare, a waking nightmare for him every time, because that's when he goes to his political rallies and begins saying that, you know, all that you people are telling me is about one term. You know, have something else other than one term. What is he telling you? You know, you people are bothering me so much with this one term thing. You keep hammering it day and night. It is actually causing me such discomfiture. I don't want it. You have to shift your narrative now. I mean, stop. So he is playing that psychological card on the Kenyan people. And therefore, you have two reactions. A, become resigned that, oh, you know, he will win anyway. He's already won if you accept and if you admit that. B, he is then going to validate his stolen election if it comes to him not winning that vote. But you ask a question, does the merger, the anticipated coalition, with ODM, for instance, and other political parties, then have any impact in terms of the tangible results, the delivery of the so-called 2 or 3 million votes? I doubt. I highly doubt. One, we're going to see the fracturing of these political parties. Because for ODM, take for instance, we've said this before, that you have factions that do not want to be affiliated, associated, or in any way mentioned together with UDA or the government. They want to chart their own path, and they feel that, look, we cannot be part and parcel of a government that has, in the manner it has acted, totally extinguished the hopes of Kenyans in terms of their living. And you will have the likes of Honorable Orengo. But in so doing, then you unleash the forces, the weaponization of all institutions against you by Ruto. For instance, Honorable Orengo, and I say the last time that he who wields the hammer, everything appears like a nail. And the next nail to Ruto may very well be Honorable Orengo. Now, we will see probably that happening. Why? Because he wants to not just entrench himself, but consolidate, as it were, whatever political parties that are coming on board have to offer. But he has no power. Let me emphasize that. He has no power to stop the fracturing. The removal of oneself from whatever it is that is being the forced merger. Now, if you listen to him carefully during his so-called whatever, he was saying there's going to be a give and take, that it cannot ever always be like that. Well, to me, that is sort of like sounding off Kindiki. Like, look, just get ready. Just get ready. I mean, something has to give, and you probably will be, the fall guy right here. So he may not contain that fallout. How I perceive that is going to be for these individuals who feel like I suffer the biggest threat of re-election, maybe a member of National Assembly, maybe the Senate, such like, I think you will see more and more people opting to be independent. And as we go into the year, you will see they who want to disaffiliate, they who want to cut off from UDA and the perception of a failed state that Honorable Ruto has projected of his government, they will want to chart their own path. And if I'm, probably Honorable Keheka should forgive me.
That's the beginning of the end.
She should forgive me if I misread her body language. If I misread. Because what we saw, the optics during the meeting was like, hey, we about that sort of thing. I'm not going to flash anything. So that issue of the flashing of the two-finger salute sort of a thing, in itself, to me, is the charting away, the tangent away from what William Ruto stands for, his government stands for. So you probably will see in the coming National Assembly, the coming Senate, more independent candidates having been elected, because the Kenyan people, may you ask about the numbers, the Kenyan people will say, regardless of your optics, Ruto, we cannot stand your government for the next 5 years.
We have exactly 8 minutes, so I want to give each one of you time for your final comments. You may want to continue talking about that, Bwana Gakuya. We may need to hear from you about the plans for Parliament. You're going on a retreat today, but Bwana Sankok, you go first.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for hosting us. And my friend Wakili is actually a prophet. He even know who is supposed to trajectory in which so-and-so is going, or Susan Kika. But I can assure you, if you think that Professor Kindiki was worried, Professor Kindiki is not worried. A professor is always a professor. And the professor will never tire. And if they tire, they don't retire. And if they retire, they don't die. And if they die, they don't rot. And if they rot, they don't smell. And if they smell rose flower. So Professor is actually a mobile encyclopedia, and is very comfortable. Again, as UDA, we are not even worried about the united opposition. My brother Kaguya, we are not worried about your united opposition. We are worried about a possibility of a third force, a combination of the likes of Babu Owino, Kindiki, Ndindi Nyoro, the likes of Natembeya, Winnie Odinga, and the Super Senator Sifuna. Those are the people we are worried about. Their combination is not only lethal, but is actually a potential game changer in the Kenya politics. And I think they should hold their horses and wait for 2032.
They're causing too much discomfort.
2032. They make us very uncomfortable. In 2019, I think you remember, it was in 2018, I predicted that the first Luo president will be Babu Owino. Of course, that time people thought Raila will win the election, may his soul rest in peace. But in 2018, I knew and I predicted, the way I saw Babu Owino, that he will be, not may. And that is a prophecy.
You still stand by that?
He will be. I still stand by that he will be the first Luo president in Kenya. And he will be. But I think I will plead with him, with Ndindi Nyoro, Sifuna, Natembeya, and Super Senator Sifuna. Please, let us have this coalition. Hold your horses. Your time is coming in 2032.
Asante, Bwana Sankok. Bwana Gakuya, you go next. Tell us what your plans are. 5th session of the 13th Parliament coming up?
Indeed, it is tradition of the Parliament that after recess, then there is what you call a retreat to make a recap and make an agenda of the calendar, because the Parliament is done by calendar. And that is what members are retreating to plan about. Remember, there has to, probably by the time of the taking recess, there were most of there could be, remember after this particular recess, there were pending works that people needed to know where to start, what to start with, and how to rearrange for the year. So those are that's the major and the main cause of that particular retreat. Also, it is important for us to also understand what are the given priorities as per the calendar, and therefore the need be for such a retreat, even to know if it was a particular committee, what was according to the job or the calendar of the previous year, how they had performed, what they have achieved, what they have not achieved, and what are the main the main course on the plate this particular year. That is the main thing that it's taking us to that. And remember, the House is made up of committees, and therefore those committees now it is to know about their reports, whether the reports has accomplished, or what kind of reports have you made about, and the scorecard of the various committees. That is what we're taking us for 3 days. And therefore, even personally, because I belong to Parliament, I cannot, yesterday I boycotted, but I cannot boycott this. Because it's my duty to represent the members, the constituents of Embakasi North. And the meeting is part of the planning of the Parliament, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe to sum up, let me say, my wish is that this is our mother country, all of us. And this country is run by our constitution. Then there is a duty. When you get a chance, remember, that's a favor given by the people of Kenya and God. And therefore, serve the people of Kenya on a diligent manner. Don't use force, don't dictate people, but allow people, because we are not on a military government. We are on a civilian government elected by people. It is important to respect the people of Kenya. So either way, if it comes to matter to do with the demolition, find a mechanism. We have what we call public participation. Allow that particular clause to do its work. Talk to people. Let the people also air their mind. Let them give them a say, so that when you move to demolish people, because it is in your manifesto that you are not going to keep that habit and madness of demolishing people when they are out of their homes, and that is what's still happening in the same regime. Number two, let us forget about this madness of attacking churches. It is wrong, and if we want to create fear to Kenyans, just know these are Kenyans who are maybe sons of Mau Mau and so on. That kind of fear we can't buy, and nobody will buy it. And therefore, just know, if people of Kenya, you serve them diligently, they can still give you another chance. They can still do that, because it is one's conscience that will wake up and decide whether it is William or somebody else. And it depends on how you have acted during your time of duty. So it is important, Mr. President, please work diligently, serve Kenyans diligently. Allow the Constitution to be the leader and key torch for your leadership. Don't allow misuse of power within your corridors.
Thank you, Bwana Gakuya. Wakili, you finish for us.
Thank you. I have absolutely no hope that Ruto will ever change. Ruto has sold, and just calm down, Ruto has sold disaffection among the Kenyan people. He doesn't sell hope. He sells the drudgery of the daily living that the Kenyan person has to undergo and endure every single day, sunrise to sunset. His sole ambition was to entrench himself into power, use that power for his own self-enrichment, self-gain. It has nothing to do with you as a Kenyan individual. I want to encourage every Kenyan to get back to that basic level of being yourself, recognizing that you're here on earth by God's deliberate design. Ruto cannot do anything beyond that which you permit him to do. As a Kenyan people, we ought to say, no, there are constitutional limitations to what you can do. Ruto is selling this country by the day. In his own admission yesterday, in the presence of Honorable Sankok, bear me witness, he said he goes to the US, summoned by the former president of the US, Joe Biden. He sits with Microsoft and a Qatar company in the US, note that tripartite sort of agreement, a Qatari company in DC, Washington DC, is signing an agreement about the establishment of an Olkaria geothermal power plant in order to do what? Power up a data center supposed to be managed, supposed to be to the benefit of Microsoft in the neo-colonialism digital agenda that they have and we are supposed to be paying for. That is the sort of Ruto you're talking about. On a daily basis, he is selling your birthright. The National Assembly, in my humble view, ought to have summoned him and ask him, wait a minute, you go out there and sign A, B, and C, and D. We are supposed to have oversight of that. You have not acquired or gotten or secured approval for this on behalf of the Kenyan people, and they nullify it. Do they do it? Honorable Kakuya said the agenda for the National Assembly is going to be set. Will they speak about it? No. Honorable Ruto ought to be told, you can wish for us to be in Singapore, but we, the Kenyan people, don't like your version of the Singapore.
Wakili Harrison
Honorable Kakuya is
James
the son
Gakuya,
of a Mamau,
MP,
but I'm the
Makasino.
Moran myself.
All right.
So you should not threaten us.
David Ole Sankok, MP, East Africa Legislative Assembly, James Gakuya, MP, Embakasi North, and Wakili Harrison Kinyanjui, our panelists this morning, as we took a look at the headlines. Storm over Gachagua gun attack, that's a big one. The untouchable, the same story on that attack at Retima. KRA catches over close to 400,000 tax evasion, tax evaders, and this one on the Star. 1 in 10 Nairobi men struggling with erectile disorder. This is a headline in Kenya this morning as well. My name is Freddy Ndimuli. Have a lovely morning.